My skin got a story in it. Whole rose in my bones. They call me by a number, but I know my name at home. Chain on my neck with the line still lives. The way I walk, the way I give. Lust to the promise, that's where I fit. I've been chosen, I can feel it. Tell me who I am when the mirror won't lie. Tell me where I came from. It's written in my eyes. I was set apart long before the hurt. The son of the promise. On this earth, house of Israel, that's who I am. House of Israel, blood in the plan. Not by the label, not by the cage, ancient heritage. Calling my name, house of Israel. I know the truth, house of Israel, living in you. They try to bury kings in the headlines. Tried to paint my crown in shame, but the old words still find me. When I speak and I pray, from the fields to the block, still rising. Through the fog, still a sign. Every wound got a witness, every scar got a sign. I'm not lost in the crowd, I'm not here by mistake. There's a covenant on my breath, bro, that the world can't break. Tell me who I am when the mirror won't lie. Tell me where I came from, it's written in my eyes. I was set apart long before the hurt, the son of the promise. On this earth, house of Israel, that's who I am. House of Israel, blood in the plan. Not by the label, not by the cage, ancient heritage. Calling my name, I'm house of Israel. I know the truth, house of Israel. And if they strip the names away, I still stand on what was spoken. If the world don't see the line stays unbroken. From father to son, through the night, we remember. I was made for more than sight. I was made for the sinner. House of Israel, that's who I am. House of Israel, blood and the plan. Not by the label, not by the cage, ancient heritage. Calling my name, house of Israel. I know the truth, house of Israel.
Plantation. 9 to 5 be the time I was wasting. Man, I feel like I need a vacation. Saving up for my resignation. Why I feel like my manager hating. Ain't the one for no verbal castration. This government ain't giving reparation. We'll go to crime trying to fight the temptation. I wanna clock out as soon as I clock in, but a nigga got goals, so I gotta lock in. 30 hours is still broke. I feel like they mocked in. Gotta do doubles for a band. I'd rather hit the block then. But then, so many caught off the Rico. This oppression in it feels like the Book of Job. Instead of the Book of Job, it's like the Book of Job. After paying all them taxes, I feel like I got robbed. Man, you see this, man? I've been working 40 hours and I got J.O.P. Needs just over broke. My coworkers get off and they just wanna smoke. Me, I don't smoke. I'm in this booth too cold. You gotta hear me out. I'm the voice of hope. I don't wanna be stuck in the back of this truck. It's hard as fuck in the back of this truck. Man, just staring at me, feeling petty as fuck. Yeah, I just wanna give up. Plantation. 9 to 5 be the time I was wasting. Man, I feel like I need a vacation. Saving up for my resignation. Why I feel like my manager hating. Ain't the one for no verbal castration. This government ain't giving reparation. We'll go to crime trying to fight the temptation. But one day we gonna be free. That's the vision that the Lord showed me. But the other day I had a terrible dream. Went to work and AI replaced me.
All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Kwom Yasha'Allah, rise Israel. Double honors to our elders. Still waking up the lost sheep of Israel in these last days. All right. I'm your host, Chassadyah, in this lesson called I Meditate Terror. And my swordsman today is
Kadah, Ariah, HOI Lao.
good. All praises. All praises. Shalom, King.
Shalom.
Khan. All right. So we got a lot of information to give out today. So with that in mind, we're gonna immediately get started. But first, let's say the Lord's Prayer in ancient Paleo Hebrew. Give me 1 second. Everyone, lighting my incense up. Hopefully everyone had a productive week. You know what I'm saying? As much as you can here in Babylon the Great. But we're going to talk about what's going on, the fall of Babylon, all that good stuff, okay? This Babylon's collapsing. Babylon just lost a war with Iran. You know what I'm saying? Got to give concessions like reparations. They said they ain't give us, we can't get no reparations. But apparently Iran can get $300 billion because they whooped that, you know what I'm saying? They whooped down the block. They thought they said we'll be out here in 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 days turned to 2 to 3 months. They ain't get nothing accomplished, but a lot of blowing up military bases. So, you can only imagine how it feels to be considered the wealthiest country in the world, the strongest military in the world, and they get, belted behind by what America would consider a primitive military. So this place is falling apart. We can all see that. So let's begin with the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malachbaka, Thaba'a, Ratazayaka, Aya, Asha, Barataza, Kawa, Aya, Bashemayim, Nadananawa, Lacham, Kau, Yawam, Wasalah, Nawa, Kabawa, Kasalah, Nawa, Kabawa, Wala'a, Thabi, Nawa, Wanasai 1, Abal, Hawashai, Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapalaraf, Labalamnium,
Man.
All right, so had the disclaimer already, but of course we're gonna say it anyway. Fair Use Act, teaching. It's a class, so protected by the Fair Use Act. Let's begin. All right. I said it's called I Meditate Terror. It's kind of like an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? I Meditate Terror. This is something that, I talk about a lot. And why? Because this is, was 1 Corinthians 12th chapter, talks about, the many facets of this truth. Brothers are good with communication. Other brothers good with different tongues. Other brothers were healing. You know what I mean? So everybody has a job to do. So I just say, you know what I mean? Get it done. You know what I mean? You got a job to do it. You know what I mean? Don't sit on your talents, what the Most High gave you. Okay. But let's see why judgment is taking place. One reason why judgment is taking place in this deplorable country called America. Okay, let's get 1 Chronicles chapter 16 and verse 35. All right. Right now, they came out with information saying that America has successfully separated over 100,000 children from their parents. That's a crazy number. You know what I mean? In the short amount of time, this place is beyond evil. You know what I mean? Like when you talk about evil, there's other places that are evil. You know, America takes the cake, the border of wickedness. You know, and you know, we call on the Most High to destroy this place daily. You know what I mean? It's a daily prayer for the Most High to destroy this place, because once Babylon goes down and Babylon's on its knees, then our kingdom will rise. Okay? And the saints of the Most High will take the kingdom and possess it forever, even forever, never. Go ahead, can you bring it out?
God, the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 16, verse 35. And say ye, save us, O God of our salvation, and gather us together, and deliver us from the heathen, that we may give thanks to thy holy name, and glory in thy praise.
Khan, we need salvation, you know what I'm saying? And we call on Yahweh Shem Yahushai to save us, deliver us from the heathen. They are full steam ahead. No stop, no go, no collect $200. The heathen is in full fascist mode, having fights on the White House lawn, and then fighting in the crowd in the White House lawn, like real deplorable trash bags that are running this country. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, you bring out verse 36.
Verse 36. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel forever and ever. And all the people said, amen, and praise the Lord.
So we praise the Most High daily. You know what I mean? We understand that he is in full control, and when we do pray, that he hears us. You know, so we say thank you, you know what I mean, to the Most High before he casts judgment, because we know he's going to cast judgment. And when he does to these people, we're going to talk about it.
That's right.
Right here, every Wednesday, we're going to talk about the judgment that the Most High has been dishing out to these heathens. And we're going to talk about some of them today as well. All right. So without further ado, now this is the original, you know, what's going on. 100,000 kids.
Kids have had a parent detained.
100,000 kids. Let's watch that.
All right, so we got to talk about this here, man. So shout out to Status Quo and Jordan Sheridan. They're on the ground in New Jersey at Delaney Hall, where you have a hunger strike going on, where all these people held in this ICE concentration camp are protesting the horrific conditions that they're in. So you have a bunch of people slammed into a cell that's way too many for that area. You have like one or two toilets that are clogged and disgusting. You have people getting sick left and right and all over the place. You have moldy food that they're being given. It's just totally inhumane conditions, violating people's constitutional rights. It's cruel and unusual punishment. It's just a horrible, horrible thing to see. You have families being torn apart. You have people showing up. You have, you know, kids that are having panic attacks and people that are suicidal because the family's being ripped apart. Just a horrible thing. One person talked on camera to Jordan and Status Quo, and then ICE caught wind of that, and they wanted to retaliate against them, and so they banned them from seeing their family member. I mean, this is just, it's literal like modern day fascist shit. This is fascism. It's here. It's happening, right? And it's in the flavor of anti-immigrant insanity, okay? Let's start with this clip here. Again, shout out to Status Quo and Jordan Sheridan. Donald Trump is the Antichrist. You are his soldiers. So here we go. This is from the protest outside, and let's see what we have.
I'm fucking out here. I'm from Kansas.
We're going to come from wherever the fuck it takes. My full name is Robert Cody Billings, and I'm not afraid of any of you. Donald Trump is the Antichrist, and you are his soldiers, you fucking losers. What if they kidnap your kids? What if they kidnap your mom? What if they kidnap you?
That's a great question. What if they kidnap your kids? What if they kidnap your mom? What if they kidnap you? Well, they don't think about it like that because it's not happening to them, so they don't care. Look at this. Bombshell. Report reveals ICE has separated over 100,000 children from their families. 100,000. So this is a ProPublica article. More than 100,000 kids have had a parent detained in immigration sweeps, report estimates. Since the Trump administration doesn't track how many children have been separated from their parents by immigration detention, a Brookings report tried to calculate it, and it cited ProPublica's reporting. So this is incredible, incredible stuff that we're talking about here. They say, in response to the Brookings findings, the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees ICE, sent an oft-repeated statement that the agency does not separate families, adding that parents are asked if they want to be removed with their children or instead to have them placed with a person the parent designates. DHS said this is consistent with the practices of past administrations. However, guidelines for ICE officers encountering parents have changed. A document known as the Parental Interest Directive was given a new name under Trump, the Detained Parents Directive. Its preamble, which once instructed agents to handle immigrants and parents in a way that was, quote, humane, has been stripped of that word. So now in the official rules, before it was you have to treat people humanely. Now they officially got rid of humane. You don't have to treat people humanely. They've separated 100,000 kids. I remember in his first term, when there was just a couple of examples of that, people flipped the fuck out. He panicked and he reversed that decision. Now we are so far deep into fascism that they've separated 100,000 kids from their parents and nobody bats an eyelash. Nobody cares. Nobody talks about it. This is where we are now, y'all. This is where we are. Here we have a story where somebody inside the ICE concentration camp is incredibly sick. In fact, they're dealing with septic shock. Instead of taking them to the hospital to get proper care, which is necessary at this point, they're literally giving them Pepto-Bismol. You can't make this up. Watch.
I just can't believe they gave your husband constipation medication when he was in septic shock.
She gave him Pepto-Bismol. He's vomiting, profusely vomiting. She came, he didn't know what, he said, babe, they gave me some pink stuff. I said, Pepto-Bismol? He's like, yeah. I said, oh, so I called. I was like, you gave him Pepto? Ma'am, you could call back in the morning and talk to someone.
And did the hospital tell your husband or you that if he doesn't come back or he doesn't get care, he could die?
What the hospital told us is that he need more further care than what they gave him.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. Like, what are we? This is a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare. Okay, here we have another protester, family member of somebody inside the concentration camp, outside of it, screaming at the ICE agents. Here we go.
You should be ashamed of the job that you guys have. Yeah. Shame on you, my brother. Shame on you for the job that you picked.
Protect them with their blood.
Shame on you. Shame on you for the job that you picked.
90
There's plenty of jobs out here, and this is the job that you picked.
Protect them with their
You're supposed to be our brothers and sisters of color.
Support.
Of color. You're of color.
With their body armor and their
and this is the job that you picked. Shame on you. Shame on you.
By the way, we covered the other day, again, shout out to Status Quo and Jordan Sheridan. They got the video. It was a protester outside who got shoved into an oncoming truck by an ICE Gestapo thug, and their leg got caught under the wheel and their leg got broken. Their leg was broken. All because an ICE thug shoved them into the way of an oncoming car. Now, by the way, I didn't see that anywhere else. It was here. It was Jordan Sheridan. It was Midas Touch, who works with Jordan Sheridan a lot and Status Quo a lot. But I didn't see this on any other news outlets. And I'm going, I don't know. I think it's kind of a big deal if a thuggish agent of the state shoves you into an oncoming truck and your leg gets a compound fracture as a fucking result of it.
Okay, so, I mean, as you see, there is no help. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the media is not talking about it, so people don't even realize it's happening. You know, they could pick you up. You could be, you know, status fine, but keep in mind when they did those NDAAs and was it the NDAA? I believe, you know, like the Patriot Act, and it started getting worse and worse over time. They would sign them during the during like New Year's. You know what I'm saying? To revise them during New Year's or New Year's Eve when everybody's out drinking and partying and stuff like that. This has gotten worse, where they say, we're trying to get the terrorists, or we're trying to get people that will hurt America, blah blah blah, right? But then it gets to the point where whether in wartime or peace, they can just grip you up, bring you to a undisclosed location, right there, and pretty much have you sit, not meet a lawyer, not get a phone call. You know what I mean? And now to the point where it says there's you don't have to treat people humane. Like, why would anybody take that away unless you're most the evil people, decrepit people on the face of the planet? And that's Esau, man, the Edomites. They don't care. If they did care, it'd be a whole lot more people out there protesting, but it's not happening to them. So they safe in their house, allegedly. And just you can never trust your enemy. You know what I mean? People are having shock. You didn't say it. He's in shock, and they get Pepto-Bismol. So we have a power, right? You see what they're doing. They think we're powerless, and some of us think we're powerless, unfortunately. But you have to realize the power that you have. Your power, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, is keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible. That's your power. That's where your power lies. So if you're sinning, you're powerless. You have to put every effort into getting that sin away from you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know how hard it is. Of course I do. You know what I'm saying? We in the same flesh. But you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. And you should want to have that protection. You know what I mean? Think about whatever secret sin you doing. You know what I mean? Think about that level of protection you would want when everything shuts down. You don't want to be fighting over the alley cat over a puddle. You know what I'm saying? You want the Most High to give you abundance in that time period, like it says in 2nd Ezra 2:27. All right, but let's get John chapter 15, verse 14. We want to be close to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And when we pray, we want him to hear us. That makes sense. What's the point of praying if it's going to be on deaf ears? Because you are going the opposite direction that the Most High wants you to go. Let the Lord help you by helping the Lord. Follow the law, statutes, commandments. Okay. Go ahead, can you bring it out?
God, the book of John, chapter 15, verse 14. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you.
So we definitely want the Lord to be our friend. You know what I mean? Don't have that Christian mentality, man. I see Christianity creeping up in Israel. The daggone Gentiles can be saved and prove me wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? That is definitely a main Christian stronghold. They think it's a stronghold, that keeps them going. They get 100% donations and tithes. You know what I mean? Because they say everybody can be saved. And that's the only law that's obviously still intact. The tithes. Everything else is gone. You know what I mean? In their mind state, right? Go ahead, King. Can you read next verse?
God, verse 15. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servants knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you.
So you want to be a friend of God, a friend of his Son. You know what I'm saying? A friend of Yahushai. So anything the Most High brings down through the information wise, you get access to. All right. Now let's go to a person that did that. You might know him as Elder Zabak. Okay. As we enjoyed the new moon 4th month on Sunday, the elder brought something up about having a dream. You know what I mean? And he didn't talk about his dreams too often. So as we're listening to his dreams, he was talking about how the planes were falling out the sky. And planes are falling out the sky. You know what I mean? Like, it's been something that you cannot get away from. You know what I mean? And that is amazing. That is mighty. You know, when you see the elder out there on the highways and byways, highways and hedges, you know, battling demons, bringing out the scriptures, you know, staying composed, calm, cool, and collective, and been doing it for decades, you have to understand that, you know, for an elder to be still going out there and still trying to wake up his people, the Most High is going to bless him. So he blesses him with information by way of dreams, visions, so forth and so on. You can only imagine the things that he sees and goes through on a daily basis. But I just want to bring this out because it was amazing to happen. And as I'm doing this class, another plane crashed over there in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Closer to where Carmelo Anthony case was, Austin, Texas. It was in Laredo, about 3 hours away, but I'm seeing things happen getting closer and closer to that spot. So Texas is on Most High's bullseye, definitely. But let's watch this. Okay. Prophecy unfold.
The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Right, meaning Esau's technology and his wisdom and everything gonna start to fail him. All right, that's what that's talking about. So it's gonna get serious in these last days. And it's funny, Chassadyah was mentioning planes falling out the sky. I had a dream about that. You know what I'm saying? I had a dream, and the dream was bad, man. It was bad. I had a dream. It was the planes were like lined up in the sky. It was like a traffic jam of planes, and they was waiting. They was waiting to be told that they could come in and land. It was some kind of jam at the airport, and they like start running out of fuel and falling out the sky.
But it is just a tragic evening that started out as a fun time with a couple of young men that were going to fly formations in their airplanes.
Yeah, so and I saw one of the planes, it fell like into a forest area, and it just exploded, and like a mushroom cloud came up.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay. Oh my gosh!
And the other planes start like twiddling in the air and falling.
To its left and somehow crashed through the gate here and ended up into the parking lot. Again, people that witnessed the crash were able to get that canopy open, pull the pilot out. They described the pilot with blood on his head.
Twiddling in the air, falling.
6 people have died after 2 helicopters collided mid-air in Brazil. Among the victims is a popular singer, Oliver Tree. It happened yesterday morning in Rio de Janeiro. Tree was coming off of a stop on his world tour. He was set to kick off the European leg of the tour in Portugal next month. Tree was in the helicopter with 4 other people, including a popular YouTuber from Argentina. Investigators say one of the helicopters crashed into the parking lot of a car dealership. You're seeing that video there.
It was like an assembly line of them, like a traffic jam, and they were just falling one by one.
Disaster struck at Edwards Air Force 11:20 Monday morning.
There is an incident on Edwards property.
The B-52 Stratofortress crashed just after takeoff, creating a massive plume of black smoke that could be seen for miles.
Edwards Air Force Base experienced a horrible tragedy, and we lost 8 great Americans.
Aerial images from the scene show a large area of charred ground just off the runway where the plane went down. Very little debris is visible.
At this point, we don't have any indication as to what the cause was of
When
this.
I woke up. Yeah, man. Yeah, most I'll be showing me stuff. I don't always speak on it, but some things I will share. I was like, yo, that, and I had that dream like 3 or 4 days before that. So that was crazy.
Con. Okay. So, if you know, we were at Atlantic City, and I've been talking about this for a while. Well, since I seen it, just came out Friday. Disclosure Day is something that I say all Israelites should check out. You know what I mean? Like, why are you giving Steven Spielberg money, man? F that cracker. I get it. But the visuals, do you know what I'm saying? And if you watch it because it's on point, you know what I'm saying? It's on point. When I saw it the first time, you know, Jake stood up and was like, man, this thing was ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's one of the best movies I've seen because I know for a fact that a lot of stuff that he was bringing out is legit. Jake probably has no clue, you know what I mean? Like what's really going on, you know what I'm saying? So I think Israelites would really appreciate it. Now you got to watch it with your spiritual eye and know, of course, it's Hollywood. So the people in there that are being affected and that have that spiritual power, so to speak, are Jake. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he has to, and he probably would anyway, but if you're going to make a movie in America, you're going to make him as Esau. So you watch it knowing that they talking about us, you really going to like it. And what we just seen with the elder, just, you know, just naturally, like, yeah, I had a dream and a plane hit a mountain and there was a big mushroom cloud. That happened the night we were watching, the night we were at AC. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm watching it on a notification. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But he had this dream 3 or 4 days ago. And since he had that dream, every day, for the most part, has been another aerial accident, quote unquote. And they're making national news. You know what I'm saying? I know it's making national news because I'm able to see it. This isn't happening around the corner for me. You know, these are big name artists falling out the sky. 12 skydivers, which is crazy because like Gabar was bringing out on the new moon, you're a skydiver, you got a parachute, just jump off. You know what I'm saying? Jump out with your parachute. But something went wrong. You know what I mean? So I don't think they have time to do that. Helicopters crash into each other. I said that one. B-52 bomber. A B-52 bomber. You know how much that costs? That is high military. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah. They don't just fall out of the sky, you know? But this one fell out of the sky and it was obliterated. Like there was nothing there. You couldn't find, you didn't know there was a plane that crashed. That thing pretty much turned into ash. Okay. And then we get into the smaller one-seater planes. They falling out the sky as well. Another, what was it? Well, a woman got thrown off a daggone roof. You know what I'm saying? I mean, or a mountain. She's going bungee jump. It's not funny because I don't know.
It's like, Doc, I seen that.
That was crazy.
They had her up over.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, the rope not on.
Yeah, like, did anybody think maybe, you know, if I'm going bungee jumping, I might want to put the bungee cord on me? You know, I don't know. It looked, you know, she was very fair skinned like Esau, but her name, you know, was, seemed like quote unquote Hispanic. But who knows? But I do know that that's a hell of a way to go out, man. You know what I'm saying? But as far as that, the plane crashes. The elder had a dream about it. The Most High gave him that dream. He shared this with us. And then as I'm doing this class, a plane falls out of the sky in Texas. And I'm looking at it. They're trying to break open the the cockpit window, but they have a very strong cockpit window because, you know, birds hit it and everything like that. So, yeah. Let's get Isaiah 41:8. You know what I'm saying? we should definitely be aiming to be close to Yahweh Shem Shai. Khan, look at that. 3 instructors charged. Yeah. I heard they tried to run too. Like they sat there for a little bit and they like, yeah, let's get out of here. Because I mean, you know you're in trouble. You know, you can't just throw somebody. Where the bungee cord? Now, if I'm gonna do it, you know what I mean? Look, they got some equipment on. They got stuff wrapped around them. Yo, that is a bad judgment, man. Because you know, eventually it's gonna hit like I'm not bungeeing.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be bouncing back up. Look at it. And her boyfriend was right there. You can't tell me nobody said, are we going to put the cord on now? Like, I have, you know, unless you messed up, you know what I mean, on some, I'm going to think like I'm going to need something to save me out of this. I don't know, you know, but yeah, who wants to go out like that? You know what I mean? Like, nah.
That's right.
I'd rather get in a chariot and go around into the planets. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what happened to Chassadyah? Oh, you ain't heard? You know he went bungee jumping, right? Ain't had no bungee cord. You know what I'm saying? It's a real cord. Yeah, it looked like she might have had a loud mouth or something. They're like, yeah, let's have her fly. Let's see if she can fly. That's crazy.
Hey, Shalakia,
nah.
I've seen quite a few bungee videos in my life. I've never seen nobody where they pick you up over the head and just chuck you off the side. You usually just jump off yourself.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah, absolutely, King. Because you're just sitting there with the cord and it's like 1, 2, and you know what I mean, or they might get a shove or something. But putting you up, that like a sacrifice. Yeah, like I said, premeditation. All right, put your hands like this, like Christ on the cross, and we're gonna sacrifice you to some deity that they follow over there in Brazil.
Finish him.
Yeah, she ain't make it. 100, 150, 130 feet. Yeah, that's enough to do it. That'd do it. You know, hit the ground like a ton of bricks. Okay. Kind King. Let's bring that out in Isaiah 41 and verse 8.
God, the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 8. But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend.
So since we are part of the chosen branch, the chosen line, how about Shem Shai? Let's aim to be friends with God, y'all. You know, let's do it. Let's collectively say, you know what? I want to be friends with the Most High God. You know, I'm not trying to give him no excuses. This is a power that knows all excuses. Ah, man, the way I grew up, man, it was rough, so it's hard for me to change. Or, you know, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, I got to do what I got to do. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, our excuses, they don't work with God, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. He has heard every excuse under the sun. You know? So he knows what we've been through. He knows the trauma we went through growing up and how it's hard for us to I can't stand these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Or I mean, I'm gonna get money, dude, even though I'm in the truth, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get some couple dollars out of it. He knows everything you're thinking, everything you've been through. He knows that. So let's just be smart. Let's see the future. Let's go. Let's sit back objectively and say, you know what? This power is mighty. Let me stop playing with him. I don't want to get thrown off a bridge. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get in a plane and then you start hearing beeps and all that, you know, and all that oxygen thing falls down. I don't want to go through that. You know what I mean? And especially knowing dying is one thing, but dying in your sin, that's totally different, man. Because you might just say, I never knew you when you up there with him, right? So let's collectively say, I'm done, especially HOI. I'm really talking, you know what I mean? Everybody, absolutely. But HOI, let's stop playing with God. The stuff we about to watch, somebody gets tore up by a shark and he's screaming like, yo, help me. Oh, God, help me. Ain't nobody jumping in that water to help him. That's it. That's it for him. And his arms, they got his arms and everything. So let's stop playing with God. And let's aim to be like Abraham, you know, the prophets, you know, that the Most High was dealing with, and how that Yahushua said, I'm gonna be your friend. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen next. So you don't have to be scared of anything. You know what I mean? Oh, what are you gonna do? Is Trump gonna do this? Is Trump gonna do that? You don't care, because you're gonna get a dream, a feeling, a vibe, a vision about what's gonna happen next. All because you turned your life completely over to Yahweh Shem Shai. Not no half-ass stuff. Completely. Okay. All right. Now, let me play this video and we'll come back. You know, it's the same situation, but, you know, his wife is like, I was just with him. You know, this is talking about the B-52 bomber. You know, I don't think they can even check out the teeth, because ain't nothing was left.
We are starting to learn some of the identities of the victims of the B-52 bomber crash at Edwards Air Force Base in Kern County.
8 people died yesterday, including 2 Boeing employees. And Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes is live in the newsroom with the new details and a new interview. Rob.
Yeah, we're gradually learning more about the deadly crash at Edwards. Tracking data shows that the B-52 made a sharp right turn and then nearly completed a 180-degree turn before plunging to the ground at around 60 miles per hour. Now, that bomber went down yesterday morning just after takeoff while taking part in a routine mission. All 8 crew members on board were killed. We've now confirmed the identities of 2 of the crew members. Lieutenant Colonel Miles Middleton, seen here on a GoFundMe page set up for his wife and children. And then there's Jeremy Smith, a civilian flight test engineer for the Department of Defense. We just heard from his widow moments ago, who said the 2 of them just had a baby 4 months ago.
It can't be real. There's no way that it's real. It was supposed to just be another routine day of work. He's been doing it for 10 years. And it's the same routine every day. But get out, get ready, kiss me goodbye, and go. I was heartbroken when I heard that his plane went down.
Now, Boeing, the manufacturer of the plane, said 2 of its employees were on Monday's flight. Officials at Edwards Air Force Base say it could take up to 6 months to determine what caused that plane to go down. Live in the newsroom.
Okay, so maybe, you know, they're going to find out what happened that made the plane go down. But the Archangel Michael said he's going to be knocking them out the sky. You know what I'm saying? And we can see it spats when this happens. Like it'll be, it will happen for like months straight. Just planes falling, passenger planes, fighter jets, everything. And then it'll stop. And then it will happen again. And it's happening now. Ironically, it happened after Elder Zabak had his dream. So I'm loving the spiritual aspect, you know, that HOI brings to the table, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get involved. Let's pray. You know what I'm saying? Let's fast. You know, don't forget Wednesday, unless it's a feast day or whatever. Wednesday night to Thursday night, you know, even is the House of Israel fast. You know what I'm saying? Don't just fast during the Day of Atonement. You know what I'm saying? Fast throughout the year. Make the Day of Atonement real easy. You know, it's good for your body. You know what I mean? But it gets these spirits off you, gets you closer to Yahweh Shem Shai. Of course, if you have medical conditions where you got to take medicine and everything like that, consult your doctor. All right. Don't just do it and, you know, have a heart attack or stroke. Nobody wants that. You know what I mean? But maybe if it's something that you can't physically do, then you can fast from something else. Okay. Talk to your Heavenly Father. All right. Let's get Isaiah chapter 33, and we're going to start at verse 5. Judgment is taking place. Judgment is taking place. And if you guys seen the movie Disclosure Day, one part of it, I'm going to keep mentioning that the woman in there was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, but I like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's worth it. It's worth it. It's the flow. Brothers know, like the spirit. You know what I mean? She said, I'm in the flow in the movie. You know what I mean? But when you're in the spirit, you know, you fasting, you reading the scriptures every day, you following the law, statutes, commandments, you waiting for the next new moon, and I'm gonna bring this to the next new moon. I'm gonna, you know, I can't wait for the Feast of Tabernacles. I got some new boots I'm gonna look into, or some new socks, some wool socks or something. You know what I mean? Like your mind is focused exclusively on pleasing the Lord. You know what I mean? And when you're in that flow and you're getting information, you know, it's an amazing experience and it feels good. Okay, let's bring that out, King.
God, the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, verse 5. The Lord is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness.
Khan, so you have an ear to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, you have the ear to the Heavenly Father. That's why they really scared you. That's why you on FBI watch list. They said, man, these people are cool with God. They're antichrist. You know what I mean? They do the opposite of the Most High. So when you're close to God and you're saying, I don't like that Carmelo Anthony got 35 years. I don't like that the young brother got shot in the back and the Asian dude that shot him got off. You know, he said self-defense. I don't like that. Yeah, how about Shemal Shak? You judge the situation. When everybody's doing it, just like ancient Egypt, then that's when things to really start turning up. Okay. So I just want to give a heads up to, you know, let's get it done. Okay. Go ahead, read verse 6.
Verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Okay, so we know what we doing. Remember, I don't know if you remember, it was, I forget the guy's name. I don't know if it was Cotton. One of the politicians. He says, our enemies, we know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. We know that they know. You know what I'm saying? What they're doing. But the American people, they have no idea. Who you think he was talking about? Do you know what I'm saying? We gotta understand that you know, even though we've been beat down for so many centuries, decades, saying we ain't this and we ain't that, they know who we are, especially when we wake up and we know who we are and we know the power we yield because of the heavenly. You know what I mean? It ain't just us. You know what I mean? You don't want to get, your head swelled up because of our obedience to the Heavenly Father. They scared to death. That scares Esau. And I like it when Esau's scared. I don't know about you. So speaking of that, let's get the next video and we'll come back with the scriptures. You want to see a scared Edomite? You got to see him right now. Main man was screaming to the heavens.
A Florida man is in critical condition after a shark attack outside a U.S. Navy facility on Monday. We want to warn you, the video of the attack is hard to watch. Christian Benavides has the latest.
Terrifying video out of Panama City, Florida, appears to show a man fighting for his life as he is attacked by a shark.
We just had a Signal 45 shark attack out at the Navy base.
Navy support activity officials say the man, who is an employee with the Navy base marina, was swimming during his lunch break with another co-worker Monday when a shark attacked him. The man sustained injuries to both of his arms and was taken to a nearby hospital where he was rushed into surgery. Officials say the other person was not hurt. Seeing sharks off the coast of Florida this time of year is not uncommon. It's why many are calling for a national shark alert system. Lulu's law would require the FCC to send out emergency alerts to cell phones in the event of an unprovoked shark attack. The bill has passed the House and Senate and awaits President Trump's signature.
My best friend just started screaming, and she screamed shark. We all just started swimming for our lives as fast as we could.
It is named after teenage shark attack survivor Lulu Gribben, who lost her hand and leg in an attack in 2024. We spoke with her in April after Alabama became the first state to enact the process.
Do you feel that this is a system that should be in place in more states?
Yes, I think Alabama has a very small coastline, and if it was implemented in the whole United States, that would just be a dream come true.
Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Yeah. So let's bring out Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 8. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm swimming with you and I'm yelling for help, you gonna come help me? You just gonna swim on shore? How come the shark ain't hit you? Like we're gonna talk about this afterwards. We could have fought that shark together. That person, whoever he was swimming with, the ancient man, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he's like, hold up, if I start fighting the shark, what if the shark start hitting me? You know, start biting me. So he came on shore. The other person was cool. The other man, his arms is gone. You know, and he worked for the Navy. So let's bring that out. Obadiah 1, verse 8.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau?
So the wise men in Edom, you gotta look at this as well. Remember when it wasn't that long ago, like 12 to 17 scientists just came up missing. Anybody had anything to do with the UFO program, aeronautical engineers, and some of them just got up, left their cell phone, left their keys, phone, wallet, glasses, and just walked away. You know, and some of those people they found and they were dead. You know what I mean? Like the Most High is destroying the wise men out of Edom. And anybody that could tell the rest of these low-level Edomites what's going on, Most High taking them out of here. So they really don't know. They ain't listening to us. You know, they will eventually, but you know, it seems like he's hardening their hearts. Read on.
Verse 9. And the mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
They're dismayed. They don't know what's going on. The mighty men, you know, this is a Navy officer. He swims on his lunch break. You know, he might have swam 500 miles this way and 500 miles that way, and in his little half-hour or 1 hour lunch break. But he can't fight off that shark. He did not swim. He was screaming to high heavens. And somebody just sat there and took out their phone and recorded him. Like that was been his last words as he's drowning in a pool of blood with a shark, you know what I mean, swimming around him. Somebody got their phone out. That's America. I mean, it's not even America. That's what it is. You know, you don't expect people to help you. They're gonna take their phone out and see if they get some likes, comments, and subscriptions. Okay, let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 39 and verse 30. And while you're at it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Bubba Kashaw.
Salakia, that was Ecclesiastes. What again? I'm sorry.
Ecclesiasticus, Salakia, 39 and verse 30. You know, all these amazing things happening. The judgments that are taking place on this planet bring us close to Yahweh Shem Shai. Get us right with the Heavenly Father. All right. Go ahead, Ken. You can bring it out.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39, verse 30. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction.
So the teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, Most High got it sewed up. You know what I mean? Sword, he got it lined up. You know, it's already you know, it's already in motion. You know, the Lord knew that he was going to take his swim on his lunch break, and he put that shark right in the midst of them. You know what I'm saying? Jaws came out of nowhere and smelt that Edomite. I don't know if he was Esau, but if anybody's swimming on their lunch break, it would be Esau. And tore him up. You know what I'm saying? He's probably fighting that shark. Shark ripped off one arm. Hit him with the other arm. Now he's sitting there. How you swim? He's, you know what I'm saying? Got no arms. He's just moving in the water like this. He got a little doggy paddle or something. You know what I'm saying? He's in bad shape, man. He's in bad shape. God ain't playing. All right. And we talking about getting thrown off a building. 6 million ways to die. Choose one. If you get thrown off a mountain, you know what I mean, with no bungee cord, tore up by a shark. Either way, ain't you know what I'm saying? I'd rather not. You know, if I can avoid those things, I do it. Okay.
That's right.
You know, that's why doing these classes, reading the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? It makes it easier to say, I'm going to do my best not to sin so a shark doesn't take off my arms. That's a fair thing. You know what I mean? Most High, I get it. I hear you. I hear you. I don't want to punish the wicked to destruction, not trying to be the wicked. Okay? Let's read the next verse, King.
Verse 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word.
They sitting there with the Birdman hands like, okay, yeah, this the day. This the day. About to tear off some arms, tear off some limbs. They ready. You know, when the time has come, they're not going to transgress. They're like, oh, you know what? I don't know if I could do that, God. I don't know if I could tear him up in the middle of the ocean, in Panama City. And he probably one of those, you know, not for nothing down Florida. Yeah, that's what Carmelo Anthony gets. You know, real slick with the tongue. You know, might have a little anonymous profile online, talking heavy. God knows. God, the angels see. You know, or how about this? He might be the nicest Edomite you can ever imagine. You know what I'm saying? Helping old black ladies cross the street. You know what I mean? Volunteers his time at the Boys and Girls Club. He might be, you know, with all sense and purposes, he might be kind of a nice guy. So that lets you know that the Lord, he said he was lunch for the shark. The Lord, you know, has an issue with Edom. You know what I mean? All of them. So if he treats the nice guy with that type of veracity, then what's he gonna do to the blatant racists? What's he gonna do to the anonymous commenter talking about, oh, you niggers need to get a job, you niggers need to, you know what I mean, talking heavy. That's a scary thing, man. Scary thing to fall into the hands of Yahweh Hashem Al Shai. And they falling deeper into their hole, and we coming out of ours. So we've been planted. They getting buried. All right. Go ahead, give you verse 32.
Verse 32. Therefore, from the beginning I was resolved, and though upon these things I have left them in writing.
All right. Therefore, from the beginning I was resolved and thought upon these things, wrote them down. Like, man, hold up. I gotta write this down. What's going on? Go ahead, read on.
Verse 33. All the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season.
All the works are good. So when he sends the teeth of wild beasts, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All the works of the Lord is good. You know, better smile and nod. You know, you lucky you got your legs. He left you with your legs. You know, read on.
Come, verse 34. So that a man cannot say, this is worse than that. For in time they shall all be well approved.
You know what I mean? You can't say that's a bad thing. Or what? That you got your arms taken off. You know? Because it was the Most High said it needs to get done. So it got done. You know? Well, that person lost a leg and an arm, and I lost both arms. You both good. You all right? You be cool. Go ahead, read verse 35.
Verse 35. And therefore praise ye the Lord with the whole heart and mouth, and bless the name of the Lord.
Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Hom Yashala. You know what I'm saying? The water Abba. You know what I'm saying? The water Yahweh. You know, in the name of his only begotten son Yahweh Shai. We love this. You know what I mean? Because them getting there, what they deserve, right? Think about it. Did they feed our children to alligators and take pictures and send the postcards? You can still see the postcards to this day. You can actually buy the postcards to this day. In where? Florida. You think God makes mistakes? Not at all. So now let's talk about the heavens and what's coming down from the heavens. Let's get Psalm chapter 50 and verse 3. Let's see what's going on in the heavens. This guy talks about these fireballs. I'll be calling them meteors. Now they transfer it to fireballs, which I'm good with. That sounds much better. It's really an object that's on fire, that's streaking through the sky, seen over multiple states. A meteor is really fast. You know what I mean? It burns up in the atmosphere. You know, the one in Russia made a loud noise and blew out windows. That's rare. So these things that are happening, they're not meeting the criteria of a meteor. So let's call them fireballs. I'm gonna say they're chariots, but you know, maybe not all of them, but I'm gonna say they chariots. God, he said Trump didn't let Netanyahu see the peace deal he made with Iran, and they've fallen apart. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing. Satan versus Satan. You know, Iran's about to get $300 billion. Americans just got higher gas prices. Like, you can't make this stuff up. The richest country in the world, or the smartest country, the most, the empire is collapsing. Khan, go ahead. Can you bring it out?
Khan, the book of Psalms, chapter 50, verse 3. Our God shall come, and he shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him.
Khan. So the fire is devouring before him. There's storms round about him. It's some things we're going to watch I ain't never seen before. Not right now, but later on. A volcano erupting with a tornado right next to the volcano. I never seen that before. I watched this. I watched the news so much. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I do. Never seen that before. But we're going to get the scriptures to back it up, okay? Go ahead. Read verse 4.
Verse 4. He shall call to the heavens from above, and to the earth, that he may judge his people.
Khan. Okay, so judgment time is taking place. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing to watch. Anytime somebody gets their arms torn off, and the mighty men of Esau at the Navy, or not, his arms torn off, that's a judgment. Trust and believe. All right, let's continue on. Let's see the fires in the sky.
It's the Angry Astronaut back with a full nuclear level update on this absolute madness that we're calling the Fireball UFO outbreak. If you've been watching my channel, you know I've been screaming about this for weeks. The skies over the US and honestly the planet have gone completely insane with bright fireballs, sonic booms rattling windows, and now confirmed interstellar stuff dropping in. We're talking 3 major events that scream something is not right, plus a bunch more fireballs in the last 10 days, fresh orb UAP reports, and the one massive trigger that started it all, 3I Atlas, the third interstellar object to visit our solar system, and some new discoveries that have been made about this object as well. I'm not here to hold back. We're diving deep, trajectories, speeds, toughness, the unexplained booms, Avi Loeb's latest interstellar meteor, and my full theory on what 3I Atlas might actually be carrying. This one's going to be long because the data demands it. Grab a drink, hit that like button and that subscribe button if you're as pissed off and fascinated as I am. And also, please hit the notification all. I've heard that that's super important as well. And let's get into it. Good afternoon, alien enthusiasts, and welcome to another Angry Alien Bulletin. So the Fireball outbreak continues to roll on. This is an amazing thing that's happening in the first half of 2026 at this point. Really, all of these things should have been slowing down. There might have been a momentary spike in Fireball UAP events. They're called Fireball meteors, but as all of you know, I am not 100% convinced that all of these objects are just meteors. They might be something else. We'll get into that a little bit later, but it has been, as near as I can tell, unprecedented, the number of Fireball meteor events that have been transpiring around the world. And now we have a new event that has absolutely broken all previous precedent. We not only have all of these events taking place around the world, all of these brilliant fireballs illuminating the sky either at night or sometimes in broad daylight, we also have a massive object that apparently broke up and exploded with close to the force of a tactical nuclear weapon over the Northeast United States. And there are a number of things about this object that I didn't report in my previous video that make it very unusual indeed. And then to add to everything, we have an interstellar object that impacted our planet, or impacted the atmosphere anyway, right in the middle of this outbreak. Just an unbelievable coincidence, if that is indeed what it was, for that to transpire all at the same time that all of this is taking place. And obviously, as always, I'm going to be talking about a possible connection to 3I Atlas, simply because something has to be going on in the solar system to be triggering all of these events. This just isn't something that happens randomly. There has to be a unique event taking place in the solar system to be creating all of these incredible Fireball UAP events, Fireball meteor events, whatever you want to call them. And the only major thing that has happened in our solar system, the one thing that stands out, is the passage of 3I Atlas through our solar system. And we have discovered something very new about this interstellar object. Also, something that strongly indicates that it's definitely not a comet, and it might have a specific purpose. So we're going to cover all of these details. We got a ways to go with all of this. Let's get started. So let's start with the big one that everyone felt. The Cape Cod Bay Bolide on Saturday, May 30th, 2026 at exactly 2:06 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And by the way, if you wonder what bolide means, it comes from the Latin bolus, which means either missile or weapon hurled or thrown. NASA confirmed this bad boy loud and clear. Over 70 to 80 eyewitness reports poured into the American Meteor Society from Massachusetts, New York, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, even Delaware, Maryland, Ontario, and Quebec. People saw it in broad daylight, a massive flaming streak that ended with a deafening sonic boom and explosion. NASA's data, straight from their Meteoroid Environment Office and Astromaterials Research Division, is crystal clear. This was a meter-scaled meteoroid, roughly 1.6 meters across initially, entering at a steep angle from the northwest to southeast. It traveled about 40 kilometers through the atmosphere before fragmenting. Breakup happened pretty high. Reports indicate anywhere from 50 kilometers to maybe 60. That's unusually high for a full disintegration. Most fireballs break lower, around 25 kilometers. But this one broke up much higher for some reason. And its speed, well, buckle up. We're looking at well over 100,000 kilometers per hour, or 33 kilometers per second, one of the fastest we've seen for a bolide of this size. It released energy equivalent to 300 tons of TNT. That's about 2% of Hiroshima's bomb yield, similar to a tactical nuclear weapon, all from a space rock the size of a small car, slamming into our air at hypersonic speeds. The shockwave rattled houses across the Northeast. Dashcam footage from upstate New York captured it perfectly. A bright daytime streak exploding over Cape Cod Bay. Now, the toughness angle. This is where it gets weird. NASA says it produced an actual meteorite fall right in the middle of Cape Cod Bay. Radar from NOAA weather stations picked up debris signatures at multiple altitudes, at 64,000 feet, 49,000 feet, down to only 4,000 feet. Pieces splashed down in about 100 feet of water, which NASA jokingly calls a fishy squisher. The object was mechanically strong, fragmented high up due to the steep entry and high speed, but it dropped fragments, not your average fragile stony meteoroid that turns to dust. The thing held together longer than expected in spite of the explosive event that occurred high up in the atmosphere. Other unusual factors, well, daytime visibility over a huge area despite the weather, no link to any known meteor shower or satellite re-entry. There is no meteor shower that's taking place at the time of this event. It showed up on satellite imagery and Doppler radar. And get this, Avi Loeb himself commented on it, noting the high speed and energy. So why was it so tough? Why the high breakup altitude? Was the composition exotic? We'll circle back to that when we talk about 3i Atlas. And then, a few days prior to this Cape Cod event, we had an event in South Carolina. And in spite of the fact that NASA and the scientific majority say that a meteor didn't cause this, it's very difficult to figure out what possibly could have caused it. And as of right now, it's still unexplained. Just 2 days before Cape Cod, on Thursday, May the 28th at around 5:24 p.m. local time, the entire Midlands of South Carolina got rocked. Hundreds of reports from Columbia, Irmo, Florence, Sumter, Lexington, even as far as Clemson and Charleston. That's a pretty big area, by the way. I lived in South Carolina for about a quarter century. People describe this massive boom that shook roofs, rattled windows, and sent animals running for cover, as you can see. The USGS confirmed that there was a sonic boom, not an earthquake, not seismic activity. But here's the kicker. It's still unexplained. Early speculation pointed to aircraft breaking the sound barrier, seismic stuff, or a meteor, but NASA ruled out a meteor or a launch. No military jets were confirmed supersonic at that time and place. No satellite re-entry, and yet it happened smack in the middle of this fireball surge. Cape Cod was 2 days later. Other fireballs were lighting up the southeast at around the same window. Sonic booms from meteors happen when the object hits hypersonic speeds, faster than sound, creating a massive pressure wave, like a supersonic jet, but far more violent because it's coming straight down from space. Fireballs generate them when they survive deep enough into the atmosphere. So why no visual fireball tied to the South Carolina boom? Was it a stealthier fragment or something else? In the middle of all of these other booms from confirmed fireballs, this one stands out as the odd man out. Coincidence or part of a pattern where some events are getting downplayed? I'm angry about it because the public deserves straight answers. Okay, so now it's time to talk about this interstellar object. In the middle of all of these other meteor events in our atmosphere, all of a sudden, against all odds, I mean, interstellar objects simply shouldn't be colliding with our planet that often. There's an enormous amount of room in the solar system, huge amount of room, and interstellar objects only pass through once. They get one chance to hit something on their way through, and the odds of them hitting a planet, especially a planet as small as ours, are just infinitesimal. And yet, in the midst of all of these fireballs, we have an interstellar object hitting us as well. So now let's drop back to April 1st, 2026. While everyone was yelling April Fools, Avi Loeb and a collaborator dropped a bombshell, a new interstellar meteor candidate from the CNEOS Fireball database. They call it Polar IM, detected at 0213 hours and 14 seconds UTC over the South Atlantic Ocean east of Argentina. This thing had a massive polar velocity component coming in almost straight up through the ecliptic plane. Its speed relative to the sun, about 51.7 kilometers per second. Far too fast to be bound to our solar system. Loeb's analysis gives it an over 99.9997% confidence as an interstellar object. The impact energy was very small, 0.086 kilotons TNT, and the altitude of this explosion was very high, 90.5 kilometers. Its mass was only about 150 kilograms, its diameter roughly half a meter. It disintegrated way up there, so obviously there's not going to be any easy recovery, but the high altitude breakup is telling. In the middle of this fireball outbreak, a confirmed interstellar object slams in and basically vaporizes high up. Loeb has been hunting these things for years. Remember the IM1 event in 2014? Well, since that time, there have been several other interstellar candidates, including this one. We're talking about one interstellar impact every 2 years, roughly. That is far too often, given the amount of interstellar material available and the immense odds against a random encounter with an interstellar object as it passes through our solar system. But this is the most robust candidate yet. Coincidence with the surge? Or is this a malfunctioning visitor? I'll get to
He says he'll get to that. We don't have to. Okay, listen. He said an interstellar object. Now, we've been talking about these meteor fireballs for a long time, right? So, interstellar objects, an object that's not from our solar system, from outside our solar system, hit Earth on April 1st. What happened on April 1st? It was the beginning of Passover. What? Think about the chances. We've been talking about chances every week, right? What's the chances of a erupting volcano, a fireball hitting that in the Philippines? 1 in a billion. And then a large earthquake hits the Philippines. What's the chances of an erupting volcano and then a fireball hits erupting volcano in Japan, and then another fireball hitting it or hitting around it? I'm not sure if it hit it, but the chances of that in the billions, you know what I'm saying? And it happened within 2 weeks of each other. Now, an interstellar object. I'm just finding out about this. Interstellar object, which means just like 3i Atlas. 3i Atlas was an interstellar object. Oumuamua was an interstellar object. Things that just didn't make sense why it's here. Hit the planet and on east of Argentina. Argentina is one of the most racist places on the planet. Remember, it was Argentina, the United States, and Israel that are the only countries that said slavery was the worst thing in the world. You know, so by default, the United States, Israel, and Argentina said slavery wasn't that bad. Y'all cool. You know what I'm saying? So interstellar object landed, what they say, outside of Argentina. Yes, the chariots are buried in the earth. That's what I'm saying. Like, man, like War of the Worlds type stuff. Like, eventually they're going to just come on up and destroy. And when we watched in Texas, the video, I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, when it happened in Texas, it sounded like a foghorn throughout the whole, you know what I mean, region. And it sounded like that horn that was made during World War Z, or not World War Z, what's it called? War of the Worlds. So I'm excited. I want to see what this, what transpires. Keep an eye on it, and I'll be sure to bring it, you know what I mean, to attention, you know, when I figure out what is happening. Matter of fact, let me one more video on the fireballs. Okay, let me line that up. This is a weird one. I tried to talk about this at AC, but had some disruptive folks out there. But let's watch this.
Mornings right now covering northeastern Iowa, southeastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri, all of northern Illinois. What did these people see? Was nuts. There are two different photos. Okay, here we go, guys. This was nuts. Yeah, my gosh, what did these people see? I don't know. All I know is I analyzed this video footage out of Modesto, California. It has some narration. And they spotted something in the sky, totally legit. Okay, great. Let's just watch the video. Here we go. 1:44 a.m. Okay, this. I
mean that right there should, you know what I'm saying, spark some interest. Like, off top before we go any further. You know what I'm saying? 1:44 a.m. All right, so check this out, man. This is wild.
This I got more video footage of this sighting above California, but it's not the sighting here. It's what happened during the sighting. Okay, this ended up being what we're being told that this was part of a re-entry, or a not part of it was a re-entry of a satellite. Okay, 1:44 a.m. Last night, not last night, but the night before, in the wee early morning hours at 1:44 a.m. Kenneth M sent this in. He and his wife were outside and just happened to look up and see this, but it's not this that I want to share with you guys. They saw something else that I don't think they should have seen. Here we go. And the fact of the matter is they did. They were just out, just minding their own business when all of a sudden this thing appeared. And okay, now watch what happens. Guys, this gets interesting, okay? You don't notice it now. I'm not sure if they were there now. If they were, they weren't visible. But you're about to see something really interesting. Check this out. Okay, this wasn't a meteorite. It was a rocket launch, like it was originally said. This is supposedly a 9-foot satellite entering the atmosphere. Hold on, I want to back this up just a little bit. Right there, when they transition from that view to that view, there's something right there. You're going to see something else. It's as if this thing was being followed by not only one, not only two, but three objects that stopped on a dime. They caught it on video, man. Okay, so here this thing goes. They're just enjoying the view, right? Sky putting on a show. They don't see anything other than that, right? Until they do. And this thing starts to come apart.
I don't know.
Okay, watch. It starts to get good right in here. You ready? Watch. Something's following that thing. Get ready. Here we go. Watch over here. Right there they are. 1, Listen what she says.
Traffic is stopping. Whoa. Look at the UFOs flying right behind it.
Look at the trail there. See that one stop? Did you see it stop on a dime? It stopped and went in reverse horizontally with a little bit of vapor coming out the back of it, which implies propulsion. You back it up just a little bit. They were chasing that thing, and they stopped. Look at that. We're going to zoom in and take a closer look. There was one. There's two. There's three.
I see it.
Okay, there it goes again as it's leaving their field of view.
Whoa.
And it just starts to destabilize. Supposedly, this was some sort of a satellite that was like 9 meters by 3 meters. No. Yeah, 9 meters by 3 meters, something like that. Pretty decent size, maybe 1,500 pounds or whatever. I don't know. I'm not convinced, man. I'm just not convinced. Okay, here we go. This is the segment where she sees these white orbs chasing this son of a gun through the sky. Seriously, man, this is rare footage. Nobody else has this footage but me and them. Here you go. And now you. Right there they are.
Traffic is stopping.
He's talking about those. When he said it's stopping, he was already looking at those. Okay. Those things were chasing that through the sky. And then once it started to get steeper and steeper in its entry and started to break apart, they stopped. Right there. They stopped right there. It just stopped on a dime. Wait till I zoom in close, this bigger one here. And now they're just kind of sitting here looking right, left, right, left, right, left. There's a little bit of vapor coming. Look at the vapor come out behind them. Look at that implies propulsion. Obviously, they're anti-gravity because they're sitting in the sky. Things don't just sit in the sky like that unless it's a balloon, and those aren't balloons. Look at the propulsion coming out the back. Oh, yeah, those were the real deal. I don't think anybody else saw them, but these folks right here. Because there have been many videos submitted. I've gotten 3 different videos now of that thing entering the atmosphere. And at first, like I said, the official report was it was a rocket launch. Well, it wasn't a rocket launch at 1:44 in the morning. And besides that, it originated in the northeastern sky. It originated high in the sky, not low from the ground. So it was quickly, no, it wasn't a rocket launch. Then it was decided, oh, it's a re-entry of a satellite. Okay, well, maybe it could have been, but why was it being chased if that's all it was by these things right here? Why were these things chasing that through the sky? Because it was probably something else. But what were these things and where did they come from so quickly? And they didn't look like they were alone. When you zoom in and stop these things in nanosecond frames, like right there, they appear to maybe have some sort of an energy field, something. You're going to see something almost appear to go inside this one. Watch. See that black thing? Watch one more time. Okay. Something black appears right up there. I can slow it down. Right there. Okay. It gets smaller and then it goes right into this thing. Watch. See it right there? It's like it goes inside of that thing. Like it was chasing whatever that was too. Oh, these things were in hot pursuit, man. Hot pursuit. Alex Will, you had action above your head, buddy. Oh, it was going on. 2 nights ago at 1:44 in the morning. Alex Will. Oh, it was. So here it is in fast forward. Sometimes you can see things a little better in fast forward, especially when you're trying to observe things in the sky. There they are. You can see them moving. Then they stop. Look left, look right, look left, look right. Those were scouts of some sort. Those were definitely scouts. If I've ever seen a scout, there was 3 of them right there, and they were on it. They were on it, man. Nobody else saw them that I know of. Wow. Then Bakersfield. I mean, this is all down there in California. Alex Will, 1:44 a.m., my friend. This was just sent in to me Well, I just got it today because I got the Dropbox back up and running. Let's go. Send them in, guys. The Dropbox is working again. Bakersfield, California, Sean A. at exactly 1:44 a.m. He looked up and saw that sucker moving through the sky. But the only thing is, from his point of view, he didn't see the three orbs, whatever they were. They didn't look like fixed-wing aircraft, that's for sure, chasing that through the sky. But he had a good view of it from Bakersfield. But Modesto, man, they had a front row seat.
So, Con, you know what I'm saying? I mean, let's be honest, okay? 1:44 a.m. Are you kidding me? So we all know what that's about. And the other video, which I thought this was what this was, but I think his next video, he's kind of shocked that right around the same place and right around the same time that this thing fell out of the sky, something, well, I don't know if something hit it, but it was a large fire that happened at a medical warehouse or medical facility that the thing ended up being on fire. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, all right, I'm not, conspiracy theory. I don't want to just put two and two things together, but that amazing footage. And then now this is breaking news, right? That this thing's on fire. I don't want to put two and two together, but you got to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? So that was back then. I think like yesterday, Spokane, Washington, there was some big, lightning strikes, and they having like some crazy fires going on over there. We might have to talk about that next week or whatever, but God ain't playing, put it like that. But yeah, I mean, before we're going further, Most High not playing. All right. Now we're gonna get into the next segment, right? This is this brother, right? This is why we're at AC. Brother, we know him. You know what I'm saying? So everybody that's in the Northeast, HOI Northeast, that ever been to our meeting place, you know what I mean, in West Philly, we know this brother. You know what I'm saying? We deal with him. We deal as far as business goes. You know what I'm saying? He had an issue. You're going to talk about it in the video, but he had an issue with the police. End up shooting 3 of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? But he ended up getting killed. So the judgment is going out, and we're going to talk about it. But let's watch the video, and then we'll come back with the scriptures. Okay?
All right, so this is our dear brother, Eric Franks, who is now deceased after shooting 3 police officers in Philadelphia. He succumbed to his injuries, and now more information is coming about who he really was and what really happened during that night. Peace and blessings, all praises due to the Most High. I covered this story yesterday, and finally, a little bit more information and pictures are coming out about the situation. I want you to watch this news story that gives a little bit more detail about who this man was and why he was at the location in which police ultimately took his life.
With developing news, one of the 3 officers shot over the weekend in Philadelphia released from the hospital today. The other 2 officers remain hospitalized following the shooting, which happened Saturday night. None of their identities have been released, but they are said to be stable. Meantime, we're learning about the alleged suspect, the 57-year-old Eric Franks, a man who was well known across the community, who died in the shootout. The entire ordeal shocking so many who knew him. Police have not yet shared what led to the confrontation, which took place there at North 54th and Arlington Streets in West Philadelphia. That's where we began at 5 o'clock. I'm Jason Martinez.
I'm Sheba Russell. We want to head straight out to Jennifer Joyce with more from the community and the investigation. Jenny.
Yeah, good evening, Sheba and Jason. So as you said, there was one Philadelphia police officer who was released from Penn Presbyterian earlier today, who was one of 3 shot over on Saturday night. And what we know about him is he's a Philadelphia police sergeant who served 2 tours of duty in Iraq, now heading home to recover.
A strong show of support for a 39-year-old Philadelphia police sergeant as he's released from Penn Presbyterian Hospital 2 days after he was shot in the line of duty.
He's in great spirits, right? He's luckily with his injury was a through and through wound through his thigh. So, all things looking forward, the prognosis is good. Part of this is just making sure that he knows that he's valued, that his work is important. And so when the men and women come out here and honor him as leaving, it's special for us.
A total of 3 Philadelphia police officers were shot Saturday night after investigators say they were confronted by 57-year-old Eric Franks. Police say officers responded to 54th and Arlington Streets for reports of a shooting. While they were at the scene, police say Franks approached them and became combative. Fox 29 News obtained this video that shows part of the interaction. As police went to arrest Franks, they say he drew his weapon and opened fire. Police returned fire, killing Franks.
It hurts because I know him in the community to be such a decent person. So it's really surprising, sad.
Fagan Leslie works at Franks & Franks grocery store next to Mingle Events, a company that Franks owned with his wife of nearly 30 years, according to the family's attorney, James Funt. Funt says Franks was a father of 2, served in the Marines, and as a Philadelphia firefighter for 19 years. He became a firearms instructor and a community activist.
Was involved in trying to make the community safer and to try to get rid of the scourge of the drugs that infested that neighborhood. It worked, as I understand it, with both police and with his councilman on those issues.
Funt says Frank's son called him to the event space Saturday night after shots rang out on the block. He says a 16-year-old's birthday party was wrapping up at Mingle, and Franks wanted to make sure everyone was safe.
When he arrived, he talked to his son and then went down to the corner, presumably, I think, just to see what was going on, because, he was very involved in the community.
Then things escalated quickly, and the big question, why?
That family just really wants to know what led up to it and what happened. And if there was if their father is responsible, he's responsible. If there's something else that occurred, which we need to know that too.
And at a press conference earlier today, District Attorney Larry Krasner vowing to also get to the bottom of this, saying that he is standing in solidarity with the Philadelphia Police Department, making sure that these officers get the support they need while also conducting an impartial investigation for answers and accountability.
And I want to know how impartial that investigation really will be. Now, just think about this. Here is a business owner, a ex-Marine, a firefighter of 19 years, community activist who works with police and community members to stop crime in his neighborhood, and also a firearms instructor. So what do you think happened? Now, somebody slowed that video down, and it seems that they said that he may have even already been shot while he was tussling away from the police officers. But nevertheless, he came to the scene to ensure that the community was safe after some shots rang out at a party at his business. So he was coming to make sure things were all right. So what do you think those police did to make the situation end up like that? If you see that police officer getting in his car, he's not waving around like a hero. He's holding his head down like he's disgraced, like he did something wrong. So there's way more to this situation. Once again, there's no way that, this man would just come out, haul off, and shoot 3 police officers. I think that he was already shot before he shot the police officers. I mean, I went down his Facebook post, his Facebook page, and, there's nothing but love from people saying how much of a good guy he was. So I don't believe that it happened the way that they are saying it happened. Once again, my man slowed down the video and it says it looked like he was already shot before he started shooting the police officers. But we'll never know. Well, we may know if they hold a impartial investigation. But I just want to give my brother once again his flowers, even though we can't spell them while he's here, and put a face to the situation that took the life of our brother, our elder. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Y'all see the number now.
So this is, it's a solid brother, man. You know what I'm saying? We all knew him. We all dealt with him. So anybody from the, the DMV area, New York, New Jersey, when, we get together for our feast days, this is who we would deal with. You know what I mean? He always looked out for us, and you know what I mean, real kind, peaceable man. So when they say, oh, he was combative, you already know they're lying. That's why they're not releasing the body cam footage. You know what I'm saying? Like police, they get paid to lie. Like they have no problem lying. Like it's part of their job. You know what I mean? They go in there and tell you, oh, we got you on tape. We got this, that, and the third. And, people be innocent. And because he's like, oh, you can get 30 years, you can go home right now if you say you did it. And they know they're lying, and then they get people to sign confessions or whatever. So when something serious happens, like he said, he would have been like, oh, yeah, thank you. I made the streets safer. He's barely like put his head down like, thanks, y'all. You know what I mean? Because he knows he's wrong. Whatever they said to him, whatever they did to him, if they shot first, then they need to release the body cam footage. But these people are blatantly evil. That's why we meditate terror and ask the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai, to destroy these police officers. You know what I'm saying? These Philadelphia police officers are some of the most racist cops on the face of the planet. And that's not my opinion. That's a fact. They got in trouble for putting racist and violent memes up on a Facebook group chat that they were all about, and as a concentration of people, a lot of those people that was on that Facebook, it was all over the country, but a lot of people that was on that Facebook group was from Philadelphia, had the most amount of racist, violent cops on that Facebook page. You know what I mean? More than New York, more than LA. So, for us to be naive and think that, justice for all, it doesn't happen. That's why we're calling Yahweh Shem Shai, destroy these pigs. Can you go to Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 17? Community activists, everybody loved them. You know what I'm saying? So you're telling me that now you can't put look at his criminal background. Oh, he was selling drugs. Oh, he just got finished assaulting somebody. He's got finished stealing a pocketbook from some old lady. You can't put that on him. You know what I'm saying? This guy's a business owner for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Married to his wife. You know what I'm saying? Family man. All right, but the Most High is going to get vengeance on these people. Go ahead, King. You bring it out.
God, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25, verse 17. And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes, and they shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall lay my vengeance upon them.
So those 3 shot, that's just the beginning. Most High ain't even start yet. He didn't even start. Okay, let's go to 1 Thessalonians 1 and 6. And my man didn't hesitate. That's another thing. We got to think about the Maccabees, right? When it was the Sabbath and the heathen was coming at them and making war with them, and they're like, "Oh, it's a Sabbath, I can't fight." And he killed them all. These people don't got no picks. I mean, they do got picks. It's us, but they ain't got no type of morality, no type of honor, integrity, where they'll say, you know what, they doing their thing. It's the Sabbath. Let's chill. They wait for any opening and they take it. You know what I mean? And what happened? The next wave came through. Like, look, if we do, if we follow what our brothers did and don't fight, then we gonna get killed too. You know what I'm saying? So he saw that his life was in danger and he reacted. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to aim to survive. You know what I'm saying? Aim to keep on going, pass on life. Be fruitful and multiply. When it says turn the other cheek, you know what I'm saying? It's like do every opportunity for your brother, every opportunity not to take it there with your brother. But when it comes to the heathen and other nations, their job pretty much on this planet is to kill, steal, and destroy.
Good.
So let's bring that out, King.
The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 1, verse 6. And ye became followers of us and of the Lord, having received the word in much affliction, with joy.
Go ahead.
With joy of the Holy Ghost.
Slaki, that was the wrong one, though. I like that. It's good scripture. But 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6. My bad.
Good, no problem, Mark. God, the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Khan is righteous with the Most High. Okay, it's lawful. If somebody is trying to kill you, somebody's trying to take you off this planet, it's a righteous thing to recompense tribulation. You know what I'm saying? Fight for your life. Okay, on your get back thing. You know what I'm saying? He pulls out a gun, you pull out your gun. You know, they say, "Oh man, nah, you know, what would Jesus do?" Jesus took a rod and started beating people and got them out the synagogue. You know what I'm saying? That were money changers. You know what? David had a sword. Okay, so we've been used to, you know, taking, you know, beatings for so long. You think like it's evil to fight back. Nah, man, you gotta fight back, man, because they'll kill you. Okay, straight like that. All right, now, and I'll update brothers and sisters with the information I get. Of course, the families in mourning. You know what I'm saying? Like you expect them just to go there, close up the shop, come back. You know what I mean? But he never came back to his family. So now they're going, you know, the lawyer route and having the lawyer talk, you know, because families, you know, real upset and everything. You know what I mean? And they didn't release the body cam footage for a reason. They didn't release the name of the police for a reason, because when you look up those police names, you're going to see that they have internal affairs files, that they've been, you know, reprimanded for probably beating up Negroes, you know what I mean, since they've been working there. And like one guy was a sergeant, so he probably beat his way to the top. You know what I mean? That's the one that came out with that little wave, and, you know, because he knows he's wrong. And once that body cam footage is out there, we're going to find out what they said to the brother to set him off, or what they did to him. All right.
Okay. Chassadyah, that story seemed real incomplete. Like, it's like they picked it up in the middle of the story. Like, what triggered all that?
Time. And they good for that. You know, anytime they release that footage early and they all right, we'll start right here. Now go. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't say what happened before that. You know what I mean? What did y'all do? You know, I want to hear from the people that were out there that weren't police officers. You know, what did they hear? What did they experience when they were out there? And these cops are so like, they're not good with the public. They don't even try to be. You know what I mean? So he could say, "F out of here, nigger, get out of here." You know what I'm saying? And I'll get out of here if I put a bullet in you. And he hears that. He's like, "Oh, okay, that's a threat. We going to war." And he got 3 of them. You know what I mean? Shot one in the face, one in the hip, and one in the leg. You know, because he was good with that gun. But of course, you know, it's like 4 of them and 1 of him. But yeah, I'm gonna be on it though. I'm gonna be on it. We ain't gonna let this thing go under the table, because anybody could tell you from HOI Northeast, he was a solid brother. You know what I'm saying? Everybody respected him. He respected us. He respected, you know, our customs, and you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, lighting a menorah, you know what I mean? Places like that, they'll say, "Oh, you can't light no candles," or "You can't light no incense." You know what I mean? They'll say stuff like that. You know, the brother's like, "You know, I got you. You know what I mean? He had to do that. So we really appreciated him. And you know, as soon as here we are in Atlantic City, we come back to the breaking news that 3 cops got shot, which is unusual. You know, come to find out, we know the brother. You know what I mean? So that 6 degrees of separation, that you know, the Most High obviously trying to tell us something. You know what I mean? Or get us open up our eyes on some things. You know what I mean? So, this could end up being like a riot, the city, because a lot of people knew him and respected him. So if it comes out with the body cam footage that they treated him poorly or shot first or something like that, man, they'll burn down this whole city. So like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on anything developing, news reports. Right. So now let's look at something I've never seen before. A tornado by an erupting volcano. We are at a crazy spot in the world. Let's go to Psalm chapter 104, verse 32. Stuff's crazy, man. You know what I mean? So nothing is as it should be. Nothing is as it seems. We talked about this before. Be prepared to see things you've never seen before. This is something I've never seen before. If you have, put in the comment section. I've seen this plenty of times, or I've seen it once or whatever. I haven't seen it at all. You know what I mean? But let me know if you've seen it before. Put in the comments. If you haven't, let me know that as well. All right. Todd, can you bring it out?
Con, the book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 32. He looketh on the earth, and it trembled. He touches the hills, and they smoke.
Con, let's watch this. This wow.
We begin tonight in.
Okay, so and of course Esau, you know how Esau is like, oh, the reason why that happens once the high pressure system works with the lower pressure system, and then it makes a whirlwind. That does not happen, right? So putting the CNN one on there is like they had the best footage as far as seeing the debris flying around. But the guy we were watching before, MB333, he said this is a very rare event. And I'm like, I comment, I'm like, I ain't never seen that before. Rare. Like, how rare are you talking? But then he talked about it again, like, well, he said he never seen it before. I said, somebody like him that pays attention to these things and watches erupting volcanoes and things of that nature, if he said he never seen it, then he's been doing this a long time. And I've been watching news a long time too. I've never seen it before. So this is something new. Let's you read verse 33.
Come, verse 33. I will sing unto the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God. Will I have my being?
Khan, so this is all praise to the Most High. Khan, this is all praise to the Most High. How about Shem Yahushai, the Wada Abba? This is amazing. These are things that we never seen before. This is obviously signs, because he says, what? I'm in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of my feet. He touches the hills and make it smoke. He did both of them right next to each other. That's crazy. Can you read the next verse?
Come, verse 34. My meditation of him shall be sweet. I will be glad in the Lord.
You know that Yahweh is close. He said, I will begin to visit the earth in which I made. He's given us all types of signs, the fireballs in the sky, fireballs hitting erupting volcanoes, earthquakes in diverse places. You had an earthquake in Philippines. We know about that. Three earthquakes on the southwest side of Cuba, which it doesn't happen. They have no recollection of the time they've been following earthquakes happening there. Guess what? 3 of them happened, and it's significant. You know what I'm saying? From like 6.1, 4.9, and in between. Earthquake happened. I think it was a 2.8 in Bel Air, Maryland. So earthquake in Maryland. You know what I'm saying? So these diverse places, the meditation of Yahweh Shemeshai is sweet. When you go to bed at night, sit back, relax, and just think about all the amazing things that the Most High is doing. You know what I mean? And it should give you joy. It should uplift your heart. You know what I mean? It's a good way to go to sleep. Think about how the Lord is judging this place. Read on, read verse 35.
Verse 35. Let the sinners be consumed out of the earth, and let the wicked be no more. Bless thou the Lord, O my soul. Praise ye the Lord.
Praise ye the Lord. Yahweh Shem Shai, the water, the water, the water. Baba Gashar, Baba Gashar, Baba Gashar. Take these people out of here. You know what I mean? All praises. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15. We'll start at verse 13. Baba Gashar.
Isaiah 66 or 56?
13. We're gonna start at 13. Khan.
Isaiah 56 and 13?
66.
Khan.
It's looking good. It's looking good.
You ready out?
Bring it out, yeah.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 13. As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem.
Khan. And of course, you know, the Most High's word doesn't go out in vain. You know what I mean? If he said it, he's going to do it. He's not a man that he shall lie. All right, read on.
Verse 14. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of the Lord shall be known towards his servants, and his indignation towards his enemies.
So he's going to build us up. You know what I mean? Develop us, bring us out of this state of mind that we're in, and then he's going to destroy our enemies. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
There you go. Look at that. We got a bird's eye view. We got a camera angle of this scripture. You know what I'm saying? There's a whirlwind and fire all in the same picture. Like, it doesn't happen. That's not normal. You know what I mean? Now, there's been fire tornadoes. You know what I mean? So if it's a wildfire and a tornado happens in a wildfire, I've seen that before. That's rare. Do you know what I'm saying? But I've seen them before. Never seen it with an erupting volcano. It's just unheard of. You know what I mean? So, you know, he's going to come with fire, and his chariot's like a whirlwind. He's giving us a prequel of, you know, the invasion. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be an invasion on this planet, and Esau's going to have to deal with it. All right. So let's talk about Midland, Texas. You know what I mean? Not too close to, you know, where Carmelo Anthony was, right? But it was definitely, you know, it's still in Texas. Okay. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 28 and verse 1. This guy he likes to shoot cops or something like that. That's what he does. And apparently he's still on the loose. You know, I seen a report today talking about they don't know where he's at. You know what I mean? But he let him have it. He's shooting at cops, he's shooting at civilians, he shot a bunch of people. So judgment is taking place in Texas. Bring it out, King.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 28, verse 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord, and he will surely keep his sins in remembrance.
So they had vengeance on the brother. You know what I mean? They have revenged on the brother, Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean? The alleged crime that he committed was, you know, they have history of people that have done similar things and gotten a lot less time, especially at that age. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted vengeance. They wanted the revenge on him, and they're gonna find the vengeance of the Lord. Okay, and let's bring that out.
You want verse 2? Oh,
no. I'm gonna put a video on. Dwight King.
In Midland, one person is dead and 10 others are injured following a shooting that sparked an hours-long standoff. Authorities identified the suspect as 45-year-old Victor Villarreal, who died during the incident. Investigators say Villarreal was wanted for the capital murder of a police officer after allegedly opening fire on a Midland officer during a vehicle pursuit earlier this week. Good evening. I'm Nick Canizales.
And I'm Cledra Rhodes. The investigation is still ongoing. Reporter Jen Sullivan has more.
That's the sound of multiple gunshots ringing out in Midland, Texas, where 11 people were shot in the small community between Fort Worth and El Paso Friday morning. At least one victim was killed, according to officials.
Please pray for Midland. Most importantly, please pray for those impacted.
Authorities say the shooting led to an hours-long standoff with a gunman who's now been identified as Victor Mata Villarreal. Authorities say he died of a self-inflicted gunshot.
The active shooter situation has been resolved and the shooter is confirmed deceased as of this afternoon.
It's unclear what sparked the shooting. One witness telling CNN she saw a man randomly shooting at cars driving by her business, and that she saw multiple SWAT officers rush a building.
This is all hands on deck. All of our community responders are participating in addressing the situation.
Authorities say 4 people remain hospitalized Friday afternoon, but their condition is unknown. Texas Governor Greg Abbott issuing a statement saying he is, quote, deeply saddened by the senseless act of violence in Midland. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Okay. Let's also I'm gonna play this. This is Texas. This was last night. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff going on in Texas right now. Let's check this out.
Right, come on. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Right, meaning Esau's technology and his wisdom and everything gonna start to fail him. All right, that's what that's talking about. So it's gonna get serious in these last days. And it's funny, Chassadyah was mentioning planes falling out the sky. I had a dream about that. You know what I'm saying? I had a dream, and the dream was bad, man. It was bad. I had a dream. It was the planes were like lined up in the sky. It was like a traffic jam of planes, and they was waiting. They was waiting to be told that they could come in and land. It was some kind of jam at the airport, and they like start running out of fuel and falling out the sky. And the other planes start like twiddling in the air and falling, twiddling in the air, falling, twiddling. It was like an assembly line of them, like a traffic jam, and they were just falling one by one, and I woke up. Yeah, man.
We want to start with that.
Yep. So, yeah, judgment is taking place in Texas, and the elder having dreams about it, right? So, the Wada Abba, you know what I mean? A mighty elder, you know, is doing some prophetic things in these last days, right? It says in Joel, 2nd chapter. Okay, let's go to Luke chapter 9, verse 5. Luke chapter 9, verse 5. So another thing in Wilmington, Delaware, a lot of things have been happening since the brothers went over there and prophesied against it. You know what I mean? Rebuke that place, try to wake our brothers up. But at the same time, there was a lot of ratchetness and, you know what I mean? Just the curses and everything going on, people ignoring the word. So, you know, what happens next, right? Bring that out, King.
God, the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 5. And whosoever will not receive you when ye go out of that city, shake off the very dust from your feet for a testimony against them.
So people should soon begin to realize that if you see the Israelites on your corner in your neighborhood or you walk by them, this is ordained by Yahweh Shem Yahushai that bad things might happen to this place and, you know, around them, around their family or whatever, if they don't take heed to the warning and repent and come back to the law, statutes, commandments. Wilmington didn't do that. So what, 7 hours later, as Chassadyah was bringing out about the church, Brother Yatai was bringing out about, messing with a man's woman and messing with her mom, like the church be into some freaky stuff, fire will erupt. And what happened? It was a fire at, very a church, a very well-known church in Wilmington 7 hours later. But then stop there. You know what I mean? There's children getting shot. I think like a 4-year-old got shot down there like a couple of days ago. And now you have a shooting in a hospital. Let's talk about it.
That breaking news. We know 2 people have been shot after a gunman opened fire at a Wilmington, Delaware hospital. That hospital saying it's in lockdown right now as police look for a possible shooter. And take a look at this chopper video right now. We're just getting in a huge police response with dozens of people being led out of the hospital with their hands up. It's happening right in the heart of Wilmington. I want to get right over to Johnny Archer from our Philadelphia station, NBC 10, who's at the scene for us right now. Johnny, what do you know?
Well, as you mentioned, Tom, Wilmington police tell us that 2 people were shot inside Christiana Care's Wilmington Hospital around 3:30 this afternoon. They would not give us an update or a status on the shooter, but as you can see behind me, people are starting to exit the hospital campus. Now, Christiana Care officials tell us that the hospital was put on lockdown when the shooting happened and after the shooting happened. But we did notice, and you noticed from the video that you showed a little bit earlier, Tom, that people were exiting the hospital with their hands up. We noticed a lot of people coming out of this main entrance where we are right now. And those people have since, many of them have gotten in their cars. And as you can see, they're leaving the perimeter right now of the hospital. But we are expecting an update from Wilmington police around 7:30 this evening to hopefully find out more about the condition of the victims, also the status of the suspect and the why this shooting happened. Tom?
Still so many questions. Johnny Archer, they're live.
So, of course, this world, like I talked about earlier, 6 degrees of separation. They caught the shooter, and I'm looking on Facebook, and apparently people that I know the shooter. So it's a small world. You live long enough. All right, let's go to Matthew, St. Matthew chapter 10, and we're going to start at verse 14. This is madness, So hopefully Wilmington, Delaware can repent, you know what I mean? And realize that, things are going to get worse. They got, there was a lot of powerful brothers out there that day that was telling, our people to repent and come back to the law, statutes, commandments, so repent or die. That's what it would come down to. Repent or perish. Go ahead, King, you bring it out.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 14. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet.
And the Bible, of course, it's like a puzzle, you know what I mean? A Rubik's Cube, or you might get some pieces over here and some pieces over there to put it together. He actually ends on saying what's going to happen as a result. Can you read verse 15?
Verse 15. Verily I say unto you, it shall be no more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in that day of judgment than for that city.
It should be more tolerable than the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be better off than that city in the day of judgment. Okay, so that's something to think about. You know what I mean? So some places, nothing happens or whatever, right? It's still standing. It's still good. Of course, we know Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities got trashed. You know what I'm saying? So when it's time, when that judgment comes, it's going to look like a sweltering heap, just pitch and melted elements, I can only imagine what it'll look like, to be honest with you. So, all right, let's get to, this is going to be the last our last video for the night. The water for keeping up, because of course it was a lot of videos, a lot of information today. So we went a little over the time that we usually stay on, but the water for being here, taking notes, asking questions, whatever. If anybody has any questions after this, please put them in the chat.
That's
All
right.
right. So let's get Song of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 2. And this is the health segment. You know what I'm saying? We like to leave these classes with something that you can take away from health-wise. You see all the judgment taking place. I think that's fairly obvious to everybody watching, So we have to do things to put ourselves in that driver's seat. You know what I'm saying? We're going to most high willing, you know what I'm saying? Make your election sure, but you got to have that in your mind. I'm going to do everything in my power. I was interested. I'm going to do everything in my power to, sorry, I saw a ball light out of the corner of my eye. That's why I stopped. What was I saying? Do everything in my power to be, to be crowned, to make it, to be, make it to the next level, bringing my family with me, you know what I'm saying? Building up my household, so we got to act like kings, you know what I'm saying? Let's do some kingly stuff. Let's stay a while, let's not, you might have spent half your life or more than half your life destroying your body. So it's time to build up now, because we're going to be here for a minute. Most high willing, we make it to the kingdom of heaven, because our kingdom is the everlasting kingdom. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
By Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
Khan, let's bring it out, King.
Khan, the book of the Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 2. Thy teeth are like a flock of sheep that are even shorn, which came up from the washing, whereof every one bare twins, and none is bearing among them.
Khan, so you know what I'm saying? It's saying the teeth like clean sheep, saying that are shorn, like that are sheared. You know what I'm saying? So one thing that's important, we want to, concentrate on our oral health as much as possible. You know what I mean? The foods that we eat can destroy our teeth and our gums. You know what I mean? There's some places on the earth where they don't brush their teeth. You know what I'm saying? But they eat with the stuff that they eat doesn't deteriorate their teeth. We know here in America, you got GMO foods, you got sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and everything that you eat, it destroys your teeth. You know what I'm saying? So it's some things we can do that can build our teeth and the enamel and everything back up. This one is talking about the tartar and how to naturally possibly get rid of it and help out your gums. Of course, this isn't medical advice, but the person that's we're about to watch is a medical doctor. So let's watch.
Let's talk about a really good remedy for tartar. Now, what is tartar? Tartar is dental plaque. What we're really talking about is something called biofilms, okay? And biofilms are a combination of these calcium houses that house bacteria. It's one of their survival mechanisms. What they do is they hide underneath this calcium dome, and that way they go undetected from your immune system as well as from antibiotics. In fact, 95% of bacteria in nature live in biofilms. If you even take a look at a little rock in a little stream, and if you actually pick that rock up, you'll notice it's a little bit slimy and slippery. That's biofilms. So biofilms are all over the place. It's some survival mechanism that's been going on a very, very long time. So anytime you have water, as in saliva, you're going to have biofilms. And if there's an overabundance of biofilms, you're going to get bad breath. You'll have issues with inflammation, receding gums. And of course, many people get to the point where it's too much, and they're going to have to go to the dentist and have it extracted. But what I want to talk about is if you are continually getting too much tartar in your teeth, I'm going to show you what to do to prevent it or manage it a lot better. Now, a couple things I want to mention. Xylitol, the sugar alcohol, as in the xylitol gum and the xylitol sweeteners, have anti-biofilm properties. They help suppress adhesions to your teeth. So if you're going to chew gum, make sure it's xylitol. And there's also natural things that are anti-biofilm, okay? Natural herbs. You have rosemary, you have clove, thyme, oregano oil, garlic, curcumin, which is in turmeric, cinnamon, and another compound called NAC. All of those can help reduce biofilms. However, the remedy that I want to talk about really has just 3 simple ingredients, okay? And I'm going to tell you why you should use this. The number 1 ingredient is baking soda. Now, why baking soda? Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate, okay? So one thing about biofilms, especially the ones that overgrow around your teeth as tartar, can start producing too many acids. And when the pH gets to the point where it's like 3.5 to 5.5, then the body starts leaching calcium out of your bones. It's called decalcification. And so it's very, very important to make sure your pH in your mouth does not get that acid. You want it neutral or maybe slightly acid, but not too much. And the real main thing that produces too much acid is what I talked about in another video. It's the sugar. It's your diet. If you're consuming too much sugar or you're diabetic, you're basically feeding the exact food that these bacteria love, as well as the yeast, because there's also a type of yeast called Candida in biofilms as well. And as they eat all this sugar, they produce the byproduct of lactic acid. And now the pH starts to decrease and the environment starts to become ideal for extracting calcium from the teeth. So you're getting cavities. And then, of course, the microbes are using the calcium for housing. So using baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, is a great way to increase the pH, to make things a little bit more alkaline, to help buffer that pH. So the acid isn't there anymore to leach out calcium. Also, baking soda can help to break down these biofilms. And the other thing that's very interesting about sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, is that this is what your saliva makes to buffer these acids. So you're just taking something that your body is already making. So therefore, it has virtually no side effects. So you'd want to mix 1/4 of a teaspoon in 1/2 of a cup of water, okay? Then you're going to add one more thing, and that is called hydrogen peroxide. Now, you'd want to make sure you get the 3% hydrogen peroxide, and you can get it from the drugstore. But hydrogen peroxide is a really good compound to help inhibit biofilms from developing, as well as killing off bacteria, yeast, Candida, all these microbes. And another very interesting thing about hydrogen peroxide is, guess what? Your body makes it. It's in your saliva. Hydrogen peroxide is a major compound that your cells use to kill microbes. So we're just going to give your body what it naturally produces, but it just in higher quantities. So you use 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda and 1/4 of a teaspoon of hydrogen peroxide, 3%. Mix that in 1/2 a cup of water, and then use your toothbrush to brush your teeth after you brush your teeth with toothpaste. What this will do, it'll help prevent the biofilms from continuing to come back, and that way your teeth will be nice and smooth. Now, one last thing. There is some interesting research. It's a little bit mixed, but there seems to be a positive correlation between vitamin K2 and inhibiting this dental plaque. So some people who actually start taking vitamin K2, that normally comes with vitamin D3, start to noticing that the inside of their teeth are becoming smoother and smoother. So that's another little thing that you can try. But in general, vitamin K2 is all about transporting calcium into the bone and out of the soft tissues. But anyway, I wanted to give you a really good simple remedy to prevent tartar from building up in your teeth. And I think another good video for you to watch is more information on vitamin K2. Check it out. I put it right here.
Khan. All right. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I don't see any questions. But July 4th is coming up. Be prepared. You know what I mean? You're gonna have people that celebrate Juneteenth and then July 4th, so some of our people are all over the place. But the positive things that we do see, you know what I mean, is that when that Moabite shot the young brother in the back over alleged stealing of water, and then the other Moabite got on front of the internet and said, "I dare you to boycott me." People took it up like, all right, let's boycott. You know what I mean? So then now it's brothers are saying, forget the boycott, let's black out. You know what I mean? We're not supporting any Asian-owned businesses. So now you got the Vietnamese coming on there like, yo, I'm not even Chinese, Vietnam down here, China over here, come to my shop. You know what I mean? But you just seeing people, going in those shops and seeing that they empty. You know what I mean? The aisles, everything's packed to the brim. You know what I mean? They're not going to be able to continue in a business plan like that when your number one customer is not showing up. So brothers and sisters seem to get a sense of love for themselves and their community enough where they shopping elsewhere. So these are good things that's happening in our community. You know what I mean? Most High willing, it keeps up, it stays strong, so let's look at the bright side of a lot of things. Things are changing for the better, as far as what we go. It might get bad before it gets, might get worse before it gets better, but we can see the downfall of our enemies and the Most High showing favor to us. All right. Dwight the King for reading. Much obliged. Appreciate it.
You're on the bar.
Khan, excellent
All
job.
praise to the Most High.
Khan. All praise to the Most High. All right, y'all. Hopefully you got any scriptures why people forgive other nations before our own. Khan, okay. Let's get it. We go to being destroyed. You know what I mean? We're destroyed mentally. You know what I mean? Let's go to Maccabees. Maccabees chapter 1. I'll start at verse 7. Matter of fact, no, start at verse 11.
Khan, the book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So it starts off by saying they're wicked men, you know what I mean? And they go and persuade many, you know what I mean? And that's Jake like, yo, man, you in this Israelite stuff, man. Nah, man, look, remember we was in ancient Egypt. This is in Greek captivity, but it spans the time, because they said this in our ancestors said this in Egypt. They were like, yo, we used to have garlic and cucumbers, and why are we here? Like, we want to die in the wilderness. I'd rather be a slave. Our people are so mentally destroyed, they'd rather be slaves than be free.
That's right.
And then now in the Maccabees, so that's in ancient Egypt. Now we go to the Greek captivity. They're saying, yo, we was persuading many too. It's not just, it can't be just one Jake that's doing this. It's one that always got to be like, a Stephen A. Smith of like, you don't understand, like, yo, we can get some butter biscuits if we do what Master says, you know what I mean? So let's make a covenant with them. Let's make a agreement with them, hand in hand. It says in Judges, don't make agreement with these people. It says, since we left from them, we had much sorrow. So what they do, they went to the king and, I want to get into the gym and all this other stuff. I want to be naked with y'all and all, you know what I mean? So it ultimately comes down to our people being wicked and impatient and, wanting to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? If we weren't being wicked and impatient and all that to begin with, we wouldn't be going through this. So let's bring out Hosea 4:6, classic verse.
Chassadyah, I was just thinking about that one.
Con. And that's why it says, of course, 2/3 of our own people got to go. They're not built for the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? They're not able to make it. Okay. And we got it. Can you bring it out?
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
So our people will forgive other nations before their own because it's destroyed. You know what I mean? That lack of knowledge, God says, to treat one another as you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? But that lack of knowledge and understanding what that means, that if you do that, you will be rewarded, rather than if you don't, bad things are going to happen. You know what I mean? That's a sin. When wages of death, the wages of sin is death. Our people are, the valley of dry bones. You know what I'm saying? Can these bones live? Also, the curses. It goes back to the curses as well, that, we have an evil eye against our brother. So we'll forgive the white man that, will give us butter biscuits, and he'll stab you in the back in a heartbeat. That's one thing about the white man. He doesn't like sellouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that sell out, they end up getting poked up anyway. You know what I mean? And thrown to the wolves. And then they come back and they say, hey, can we be down with y'all? For instance, like Candace Owens. She was talking about George Floyd, even though he had a knee on his neck for 9 minutes, he died of a drug overdose. You people need to get it together. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. She was talking heavy when she worked for the Daily Wire, but when they fired her coon behind, what'd she do? She went to the Breakfast Club and started singing Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? So her evil eye, and her husband's white anyway, but her evil eye, which is a lot of the house niggas mentality, it's a curse on us. We are quick to believe our slave master rather than our brother. And Most High willing, our people will see these sellouts for who they are. And, we can ostracize them out of our community. And of course, Esau don't have nothing to do with them either. You know what I'm saying? So, if it be the Lord's will, they can see that they're in, no man's land, and then change their wicked ways, repent and come and repent and serve the Lord. So I hope that answers your question. And, it's a damn shame though. It's a damn shame. It's nothing glorious about seeing, your people turn against you because you show love to them rather than the people that's been destroying you for centuries, But well, that's it, y'all. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Stay focused, stay strong. We got next. Kom Yasha'Allah. Shalom.
Kom Yasha'Allah. Shalom.
My skin got a story in it. arrows in my bones. They call me by a number, but I know my name at home. Chain on my neck, but the line still lives. The way I walk, the way I give. Lust to the promise, that's where I fit. I've been chosen, I can feel it. Tell me who I am when the mirror won't lie. Tell me where I came from, it's written in my eyes. I was set apart, long before the hurt. The son of the promise. On this earth, house of Israel, that's who I am. House of Israel, blood in the plan. Not by the label, not by the cage, ancient heritage. Calling my name, house of Israel. I know the truth, house of Israel, living in you. They try to bury kings in the headlines. Tried to paint my crown in shame, but the old words still find me. When I speak and I pray, from the fields to the block, still rising. Through the fog, still a sign. Every wound got a witness, every scar got a sign. I'm not lost in the crowd, I'm not here by mistake. There's a covenant on my breath, bro, that the world can't break. Tell me who I am when the mirror won't lie. Tell me where I came from, it's written in my eyes. I was set apart, long before the hurt. The son of the promise on this earth. House of Israel, that's who I am. House of Israel, blood in the plan. Not by the label, not by the cage, ancient heritage. Calling my name, I'm House of Israel. I know the truth, House of Israel. And if they strip the names away, I still stand on what was spoken. If the world don't see the line stays unbroken. From father to son, through the night, we remember. I was made for more than sight. I was made for the sinner. House of Israel, that's who I am. House of Israel, blood and the plan. Not by the label, not by the cage, ancient heritage. Calling my name, House of Israel. I know the truth, House of Israel.